Okay, I got this AI Flight Planner version 3 installed on my computer here because I like to mess around with the little general aviation aircraft. And basically, all I want to do is just have some planes doing touch and goes around my area, which is happens to be Kellogg Airport here in Battle Creek, Michigan, and about 15 miles east of here is a little small airport in Marshall. And so I just wanted to set up some small aircraft to do touch and goes between Battle Creek and Marshall. So that's the reason I got this. Now this program is capable of doing all kinds of stuff with artificial, the AI aircraft actually, and the flight plans that you can dip into and manipulate them. Like I said, I'm just doing this. It's a simple thing for me. It took a little trial and error, but once you get it figured out, the basics there, it's the same thing over and over and over, and before you know it, you'll have aircraft all over the place that you can follow around. The only criteria, the only thing I've noticed is the airports that you choose that you want to put aircraft into, make sure the parking areas are big enough for the aircraft. And by that, I mean if you fly into a small little airport that really handles, general aviation stuff, and try and put in a large jet or something like that, it won't show up because it needs a certain size parking area for it to show up at. There's another program, it's called Airport Design Editor by Scruffy Duck, that allows you to get into these airports and manipulate the Bgl files of the airport, and you can adjust the parking lot sizes to the appropriate aircraft that you want to put in here. So for me, like I said, general aviation aircraft, just about any airport's going to work out fine. So just keep that in mind. Big aircraft, small airport, it's not going to work. Small aircraft, big airport will work. So, yeah. But I'll have links to these two programs that I'm talking about. Another thing is, I'll also have a couple of links to where you can get some AI aircraft that will work in this program too. A lot of them are the classic aircraft, all the way up to the mainliners. But like I said, I'm just messing with the GA stuff. So once you learn it, you can just drive, go crazy, do your thing with it. But anyway, installing this, it's called the AI Flight Planner, or AIFP. It's installed. You just unzip it, copy the files from the downloaded archive into a folder of your choice, which for the purpose of this manual is known as the AIFP folder. All the files must reside in this folder. Do not attempt to run AI Flight Planner from the zipped archive, since Windows will place the executable in a temporary system folder separated from the rest of the zip files, and it won't run. So in other words, when you unzip this file, just take that whole folder, and for me, I just dropped it in C drive, and that's where it resides at, and then that's where I hit the executable from when I want to open up the flight planner. So okay, another thing here, let's see, the AI Flight Planner does not affect the system registry. AI Flight Planner is a VBNet Framework 4.5 application, and if that's not installed on your computer, you can get a redistributable wow, it can be downloaded from the Microsoft website at no charge. So there's no add or remove program in this. If you don't like the program, you just delete the folder, and the whole program's gone. so it doesn't get into your system or anything. Just a little brief thing about it. AI Flight Planner version 3 is for the most part a facelift for its predecessor, which would be T-Tools. I used to use that back in the early 2000s. Gone are the separate opening screens for the Flight Plan Repaint Installer and the Flight Plan Editor. Flight plan editing controls have been moved to a separate dialog. A new simple main panel serves both the installer and editing functions. Most of the controls on the old installer panel remain on the new main panel. Functions related to these buttons have been removed, are now accessed via the main menu bar. So, I used to use T-Tools, and it was a pain in the neck. And then it's been updated to this program, which is free. And they've designed it so everything's like pretty much all in one, as you'll see here in a second. So, enough of the jibber jabber. Let's get to the program here. Right there. Okay, here's the program. When you first open it up, this is what you're going to find. Now, what you need to do is put your AI aircraft right here. Go to local C. Now, this is where my default flight simulator P3D is located. And here's the program we're using right now. It resides right here, right there. So, okay, go here, go to Sim Objects, Airplanes, and boom, where all your aircraft are, and you'll see AI Baron, AI Arrow, AI Albatross, etc., etc. Those are the ones I have installed. Freely available on the internet. You just got to do a search. See, as long as it says AI, that means these are optimized for, running this program here, this flight planner. So I got a bunch of them, a whole load of them. Look at that, right there. Same idea. So anyway, that's where that resides. So, like I said, you open it up. First thing you're going to want to do is click on that. Make sure this program recognizes where to grab the aircraft, which is, this is where the compiled Bgl file is going to go once you make the final compilation of this flight plan. But okay, anyway, so what we want to do is go up here, select an aircraft, and in my case I'm just going to add a single aircraft. Click there, and just click there. Now it knows right where those aircraft were, where I just showed you a second ago, and here they all are. AI. In my case, I think I'm going to use this Beech 18. Just highlight that, come down here, click on Use Selected Checked, and there it is. That's showing exactly where that plane's residing. And now down here, if there's any kind of variations, that'll be red. So what you need to do is click over here, and these are all the variations of that aircraft, all the different repaints. So I think I'll just pick I don't know, Stewart Air Service, and this just tells you a little bit about this plane. Aircraft reference number. Each time, if you're gonna have, well, watch this. Okay, so this is the aircraft we've selected, and as long as you see FSX here highlighted or P3D highlighted, the aircraft is going to work. Anything over here, or if it just doesn't show up, then the aircraft's not going to work. So you got to keep going until you get one of these that'll highlight. So what we do then, we like this aircraft, and I'm going to add to updated aircraft list right there. You just click out of it. So now this is the aircraft we're going to use, the AI aircraft we're going to use in my flight plan. And that flight plan I'm talking about is the one going from my Battle Creek Airport over to my Marshall Airport and then back again. We'll be doing touch and goes. So now if you want to later on add another aircraft to this same flight plan, you just do the same thing. Go to aircraft, add it, just add the next aircraft and it'll pop up below that. And there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so on. But for right now, I just want this one Beech 18 aircraft. So, all right, we've selected the aircraft. So now, because I don't have a pre-made flight plan to manipulate, I'm going to just start a new one. So I'm going to make it up as we go along here. So then we go down here to start new flight plan, and this pops up. So there's your Beechcraft right there. See, they match up. There's the registration number to it. Activity level, leave that alone. That kind of coincides with if you adjust your slider for if you want few aircraft or if you want a bunch of aircraft. This is like a percentage point of where aircraft start showing up if you move the slider to the left or to the right. For all intents and purposes, just leave that alone. And this shows how many times this flight plan will repeat. And by that I mean how many times within, say, an hour or 2 hours the aircraft will complete a cycle. So normally, for such a short trip like this, it's only like 18 miles. I'm going to go 2 hours. And we'll leave this alone right here. And T&G stands for touch and go. I want to click on that. And if you want to use the flight number or do you want to use the registration number? And I usually just go flight number. And flight rules, because this is like VFR daytime stuff, I'm just going to go with VFR. So we shall go from KBGL, that's for Battle Creek. Click over here. See how that jumped up? Now it's in your airport list. And this will be flight number. Now you can make anything up you want, but for this purpose I just go 1. And the next one would probably be 2 or whatever you want. Now you pick a departure time. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put in the next airport. So it would be KRMY. KRMY. That's my Marshall Airport. See? Now, it automatically sets it up. It's a 14-mile nautical mile leg. Takes 27 minutes at this particular plane speed. That's what they work this off of, is how fast your plane goes. And there's the flight level. These are in hundreds of feet. So 1.5 would be 1,500 feet. Or if you do this, 2.0 would be 2,000 feet. Or 2,500 feet. Whatever you want. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it at 2,500 feet. So, well, let's pick a departure time, say, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So we would go, let's see, 1300. Oops, see, departure time is invalid. Ah, that's right, because we're going with standard local time, not UTC time. So, in that case, I will say 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There it is, 1 o'clock. So there's that. So now you've told this Beech aircraft to take off from Battle Creek Airport, go to KRMY Marshall Airport. You'll have that plane take off at 1 o'clock. And it'll be at a flight level of 2,500 feet heading over there. So for a 27-minute duration at 1:27 time-wise, this plane will show up over at Marshall Field, Brooks Field, do a touch and go, and then it'll come back to Battle Creek. So we now have to tell this to go from Battle Creek to Marshall, and now I need to go from Marshall back to Battle Creek. So what we need to do is, okay, previously selected leg has been edited. Just hit yes. Don't worry about it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add the return leg right there. So what we'll do is I'll just call this flight number 2. Like I said, you can put any number in there you want. Now see here, it automatically puts you at the last airport the aircraft landed at, which is Marshall. And we want to go back to KBTL, Battle Creek. I just kind of click over here, and these fields will fill themselves in. And you can stay at 2,500 feet if you want. And see this red right here? That always indicates for you to save. Anytime you make an adjustments or anything, that'll turn red, and it's just a reminder to save the edit. Okay, so there you go. So I've got departs at 1 o'clock, arrives at 1:27, 2,500 feet, doing touch and goes, and at 1:47 it'll take back off and head for Battle Creek. And it'll just keep doing that over and over and over every 2 hours. So if you're satisfied with that, then go ahead and get this thing ready to be able to compile it into a Bgl file. So we'll add this flight plan to the list. Give it a sec. There it goes. Now you can click out of this. Now then, flight plan list. There it is. That's what you just programmed in there. Right there. Okay, so what we need to do is make a Bgl file. And we can go over here, select the compile parameters, click on that. And I usually put save to P3D version 4 scenery world scenery, which is where a lot of the flight plans go to. And I'll automatically put it in there. And what this does right here gives you a chance to rename this whatever you want. So I go traffic, do the underscore. I'll say I don't know, KBTL. That's where I'm starting at. I'll just call it that. This right here, say it's for P3D version 4. Compile for this, and I just leave everything alone here. I don't know what some of this stuff means. You don't need to mess with that, or I don't know, maybe you can figure it out. But anyway, if you like that, the name of that, and just save it right there, and this is where it's going to be saved to, and you hit continue. So now this highlights, and what we'll do is we'll compile successful. Boom. So now we can get out of this program. You can go into Flight Simulator. It'll show an update saying something's new in the scenery file. And then just head over to Battle Creek there about 1 o'clock. Set your time for about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Sit there. You probably have to look around for your aircraft. It'll be parked somewhere around there. And just hang out. If it'll start up, turn around, head for the preferred runway, and do its little touch and go. You can sit there and file along with it and whatever you want to do. But this is the basic right here. Now, if I could like easily get out of this and start all over again, But say I want to add a different aircraft to follow along with that beach. So I can just click on aircraft again, add single aircraft. It'll chase them down. Boom. So there's the Beach 18 we grabbed before, and I figured, what the heck? Let's put a beaver in there. We'll follow him too. Go down here. Bam. Now, again, see that's red. That means it wants you to do something. Click on this. I don't know. Beaver, yellow, blue. There we go. And it's aircraft number 2. Make sure that's number 2. Because you've got one aircraft in here already. You need to make sure that says 2. Otherwise, this thing will keep telling you to change the aircraft reference number. It took me a minute to figure that one out. And it's like, ooh, okay, I need to make this, instead of a 1, it needs to be a 2 to show that there's 2 aircraft. So what you do, update it, click get out, and there that is. So now we'll start a new flight plan, and this is going to be for that yellow and blue beaver that you just put in there. This will be added to the flight plan of the one we just did earlier. And I don't know, just for giggles, let's go 4 hours, every 4 hours. We'll use a flight number, because this one didn't already have a registration number. So I just like flight numbers. So, whatever you want. I don't know, 365. And we could actually start this from, say, from Marshall instead of Battle Creek. KRMY. Let's say we'll start this one, say, 2:30 afternoon. And it'll go to KBTL, Battle Creek. Click over here, and it'll highlight it. Flight level, there's 2,000 feet. Let's just leave it at 2,000. What the heck? Now what we need to do, everything here looks good. Oops, so you can click over here to VFR. Flight number, 2:30 afternoon. Go. You like that? Boom. There you go. There's that right there. That means you've done a save. So now we need to go from KRMY to Battle Creek. Now we need to go from Battle Creek back to or you can go someplace else. I mean, you don't have to go back and forth here. I'm just trying to keep it simple. So say if you wanted to go, what we need to do though is add a leg, and it'll go from KBTL, and you can go to a whole different airport, whatever you want to do, and add that in there, and then just go from there. But in my case, I'm just going to do the KRMY. We'll just go back to Marshall. Keep it boring. There you go. That's a go. 1,500 feet. Flight number, I don't know, 200, 2,000, don't matter. And so you've made some changes right here. Save edit. And there you go. So now at 2:30, you're going to take off from KRMY to Battle Creek. Arrives at 256, altitude of 2,000 feet. And then from KRMY to Battle Creek, it'd be 316, and it'll arrive at 342, and it'll cruise at 1,500 feet. So there. So you made your saves. Everything looks good. You can add this to the flight plan list. Watch this. Bink. See there? Give it a sec. Do its thing. And there it is. You have chance, save, change. Yep. Yes, close anyway. So there you go. And that's that. So now you want to save this to your flight plans, choose a folder like I did. I just made a folder within the AI FP folder, this flight plan program. And let's see, we'll name this, I don't know, KRMY. KRMY, yeah, and save it. Now, you've saved it, so you can come back to it later, manipulate it, do whatever you want, add to it, subtract to it, change the aircraft, whatever you want to do. So what we got to do is, because we've added to this flight plan, we're going to have to compile this once again to add this flight plan. So we'll click compile. Bam. It just added to the Bgl file. And that's it. You just get out of this. Go do some... well, see, now look. Okay, now we got all that. Let's go over here. Yeah, no, that's it. No, I'm thinking of something else. Sorry about that. Oh, well, right there, while I'm in here, the AI Flight Planner, you can, has a manual in there, really nicely detailed manual to, you know, so you can really mess with this thing. But that's it though. I mean, it's installed the Bgl file. In fact, I'll go into it just to give you an idea, show you where that went to. Program files, Lockheed Martin. Here, we'll go here to scenery. Scroll down to world, back to scenery, and there they are. There's the two Bgl files we made right there. That's got your traffic in there. So now when you start Flight Simulator, it'll show generating a new scenery. And then, like I said, just go take off and check out your new aircraft, AI stuff. So there you go. Down and dirty. Like I said, I'll leave some links in the description area. I hope you can take off from this. Like I said, I'm no pro at this. I can't explain half this stuff I do, but there's the basics. That's all I want. It's just a little GA aircraft action. So anyway, thanks for checking out this video. See ya.